I've had this conversation with some folks who don't really know about the history of May Day. They don't know much about the history of the Haymarket Massacre, and so the question is, every other country celebrates Workers' Day on May the 1st. They celebrate it to commemorate American workers who were killed by American cops on American soil. Why don't we celebrate May Day? Why don't we celebrate Labor Day the same time as any other country? That's another one of those things where it just kind of confounds people when they hear about the history. They hear about this is Labor Day. Anywhere else in the world besides the U.S. and Canada, workers have the day off today, and they commemorate the struggles and wins of the labor movement, and specifically what happened at the Haymarket Massacre. So why doesn't America do that? And a big reason is because Grover Cleveland, president in the late 1890s, he, in conjunction with the American Federation of Labor, which was a really conservative, like a kind of conservative labor federation, they proclaimed Labor Day the first Monday of September in 1897. That was the first time that the U.S. celebrated Labor Day in September. And the reason for that was because the AFL was kind of an anti-communist labor federation. They were all conservative in that sense. And so they wanted to separate themselves, their labor movement, from the more radical elements. Samuel Gompers, I think, was the president of the AFL at that time. And he said in a September Labor Day speech that the labor movement is not represented by the dark side that was seen at the Haymarket Massacre. Can you imagine calling the Haymarket Massacre the dark side of the labor movement? And this was a president of a labor federation. It's insane. And so Samuel Gompers, conservative labor leader, in conjunction with Grover Cleveland, president of the United States, proclaimed Labor Day the first Monday in September to intentionally cut the U.S. worker and the U.S. labor movement off from its more radical roots and international roots, because it had spread like wildfire across the globe. And just that simple act, it amazes me that it worked, because
so often and this is one thing that just drives me crap crazy, is so often every time they want American workers or American people in general to not consider an idea, they call it communist. I mean, it's constantly over and over and over with the McCarthyism, with the Haymarket affair, with it. It's constantly communism. Oh, the communists are, this scare word. It's almost like racist in the South. If you call somebody a racist in the South, they will shut up immediately, regardless of whether it's true or not. And this whole communism, and for years, I'll tell you this. I hope to God my manager ain't watching today. But when I told him I was taking off today and I didn't want to be paid for it, he said, "Are you going with all your communist buddies to celebrate May Day?" And that's what they have done, is twisted the facts so much to where America, as soon as America hears communists, they're just, oh, we can't do that. We can't do that.
Right.
And I went back and done some research earlier today, and are you a member of Redstone Federal Credit Union?
No, I'm not.
Terrible.
I know. I need to be. I need to move.
A worker-owned cooperative, where anybody that actually has an account with them, they're actually a part owner. So every year, I don't know if it's every year. It may be every 2 years you vote for a new board, but basically you have a say in how that's ran. It's
Mhm.
communist. It is communist.
Right.
And it is the greatest bank in North Alabama, by the way. And there's a reason why you've got the lowest rates on your house mortgage, on your car loans, and things like that. You get the best rates on your savings accounts uh, because there's nobody making an absolute killing. There's no CEO up there making a killing. Joe Wheeler Electric. Most of the folks in my neck of the woods all are on Joe Wheeler Electric. It's a cooperative. We own it. We vote for the people that run it every 2 years. The Morgan County Farmers Co-op, the Madison County Farmers Co-op, they're cooperatives. They're owned by the farmers. All of these things are communist. People
Right.
don't want to recognize that, but they're owned by the people that run them. That is the whole concept behind it. So quit being afraid of this communist socialist word because it really works in a lot of applications. But
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
go ahead.
Definitely. And you know, like I said, it just it amazes it really amazes me that just is such a simple thing like I'm gonna declare Labor Day is in September instead of in May. Like that worked. It worked. How did that, how did people just it was just wiped from the collective memory by declaration of the government. Just
Americans
totally,
have short memories, man.
yeah,
Americans
I mean,
have short memories.
just totally wiped. And this is why the rest of the world still observes May Day. But it has been completely wiped from the American memory that May 1st is Labor Day. Nobody, like you said, if you stopped 100 cars, you bet everything in your wallet that almost every single one of them wouldn't know that today is Labor Day. It was just totally wiped by proclamation of the government. And it's just one more way to cut us off from our history. How did we get the 8-hour workday? Who knows? Who knows?
No, the government gave it to us. The government
gave
it
to
way.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same way with holidays. It's the same way with anything. They want you to believe. The folks that reside in D.C. want you to believe that they kindly bestowed this upon you.
Right. They want you to believe that they bestowed it benevolently upon you with no fight, that nothing happened. This is just the way things are, and it's the way things it's the way things were destined to be, and you people had no say in creating the world that we live in. It just happened, and you have no say in creating the world that we live in tomorrow. It's another way to disempower us, to make us to make us complacent, and to make us believe that a better world is not possible. Because if you realize that we lived in a worse world 50 years ago, and it only changed because of collective action and organizing and workers demanding that it changed, if you knew that, you might believe that a better world is still possible. You might not believe that this is the best that it can get. You might not believe that there's nothing more to be gained if you knew how what we have was gained. And this is just another way to cut us off from our history, to cut us off from the way that we had the things that we enjoy today. And we were talking about this before we went live. To add insult to injury, in the 50s, Eisenhower proclaimed May 1st Loyalty Day. A day that the rest of the world commemorates American anarchists. America officially celebrates Loyalty Day, where you proclaim your loyalty to the American government. It's bananas. It's really, every president since Eisenhower has made a proclamation about American Loyalty Day on May the 1st. Yeah, that includes liberal favorites like Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Like you were saying, Democrats suck too. it's really amazing and really just a slap in the face to workers and everywhere. And it, like, they think that you're stupid. They think you're stupid. And
Well, in reality, we are stupid, Jacob. In reality, we are absolute morons. We have picked sides, and I'll say this right here, right now. Anyone that out there that supports Trump, that thinks the government's going to do anything for you, is an absolute fool. Anyone that supported Bernie, that thought that the government was going to do anything for you, is an absolute fool. The best thing that you can do right now is join the labor movement. And you may not have a union in your workplace, but I promise you, if you'll reach out to one of us, we will help you. And those things that you're asking for, and that's the thing about it. When you look at both sides, we're not that working people are not that far apart on our ideals. We can get what we want if people will just join up, band together, and start fighting as the proletariat or the working class that we are. We can get everything we can want. We can get the governments off our back, because I truly believe we don't need the government involved giving us anything. We can get the health care that we want, that Bernie promised us, if we all band together and fight for it. And it is not government funded health care. It's our damn money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know, the way that they're able to divide us up is on these social kind of wedge issues. Like I've talked to people before, I remember in 2015 talking to people that could agree with all of the economic stuff on Bernie's platform, but they were like, I don't know how I feel about gay marriage. It's like, who cares?
Yeah,
who cares? Yeah,
who cares?
Who cares? Like, you don't have to get gay married. You know that, right? Like, no one's gonna make you get gay married. I mean,
it's the same thing that the freaking Second Amendment people argue about the Second Amendment. If you don't want a gun, don't buy one. If you don't want to be gay married, don't be gay married. If you don't want an abortion, don't get an abortion. But quit trying to tell everybody else what to fucking do. Paul, I'm sorry for my language. I'm getting a little frustrated.
But you know, when we work together to get the things that everybody needs, like better wages, better working conditions, shorter hours, health care, retirement, those are things that if we live and let live as far as our lives are concerned, and we come together as a class and fight for our class interests together, then there's nothing that can stop us. You know, like we've demonstrated in the past, the labor movement and the working class in the past in America has demonstrated, whenever we come together, the working class gets what they demand.
Yeah. Quit making it left versus right, and start making it us, the working class, versus them, the ones that don't do anything. The managers, the governors, the people get paid good money to do absolutely nothing except for keep all of us divided. That's basically what they do on a continual basis. That's how they get elected.
You just watched a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We're in North Alabama talking about the news for workers by workers. We're going to be on the radio on 92.5 FM, 770 AM in the Huntsville, Decatur, Athens listening area on Saturdays from 9:30 to 11 a.m. beginning in May. We believe that this is a really good opportunity to put new ideas in front of a conservative talk show audience. This is an audience that has never so much as heard the word union in a positive light. But we need help raising the funds to purchase the airtime. So if you could afford to send us a few bucks, you can do that by going to patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report. If you can't afford to do that, that's fine too. There are a lot of people going through some really rough times right now. So if you could just share our videos, that would be really helpful. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you.